The environmental education programs and Title I of the District School Board of Pasco County present the Title I Peace Camps. PEACE stands for Pasco Environmental Adventure Camp Experience, and it is a real hands-on experience. At last year's Pasco Environmental Adventure Camp Experience, children were given the opportunity to study the environment through a variety of engaging, hands-on activities while visiting 5 wonderful locations: the Energy and Marine Center, Starkey Environmental Education Center, Safety Towns Environmental Center, Crystal Springs Preserve, and the Florida Aquarium. At the Safety Town Concourse Environmental Center, students studied invertebrates known as insects. They studied the parts of the insect, then netted specimens to examine the exoskeleton and determine populations in that habitat.
See if we can see the underside of him. Yeah.
What does he look like underside?
What you got, Haley?
A little dragonfly.
Students also studied water quality by looking at biological water quality tests using macroinvertebrates. Some of these guys were very small but relatively easy to catch and identify without getting wet.
Don't put your hands in it.
That's how he breathes. That tube goes in, it's actually 2 tubes that he uses like a snorkel, and it goes into his abdomen.
They also learned about adaptations of larger animals by studying skulls. Yep, they were real skulls, only they were cleaned up and didn't stink. Teeth and eye sockets can tell you a lot about an animal's survival habits.
Look at the zygomatic arches. Are these eyes forward facing or side facing?
Forward.
Yeah, this is probably a carnivore. It's got the incisors, the canines, and the premolars, plus the zygomatic arches and the forward-facing look, which is a predator. These predators are always looking at the prey they want to go for.
Dump him in.
Students had a great time at Crystal Springs Preserve, scooping up specimens from the Hillsborough River.
The tree actually starts in the river.
Comparisons were made after recording the different specimens to determine if the river was healthy. By the way, it was. Students also performed chemical tests to determine the river's condition and agreed with the specimen survey. Finally, the preserve staff shared some of the live animals with the group and the many preserved specimens on the walls and in containers. This was a wet and muddy day.
Life and excitement there. You think that's a good place for Spot to live in New York?
You open the bag. You take the water.
At the Starkey Environmental Education Center, they learned about animal tracks, native Florida plants, and owls. Students studied the different types of animal tracks and then poured all types of tracks into plaster of Paris molds. They created tracks in the sand and printed tracks using life-size rubber models.
Yeah, keep going. Did you do all 4 at your
Dissecting owl pellets and reassembling the skeleton remains of different types of animals that owls consume was one of the highlights of the day at Starkey. Sounds really gross, but it was way cool.
Let me zoom in on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, there.
Look at that pile of hair. My gosh.
And then I'll say we're going to stop for a few minutes. That way you can stop and discuss your leaves.
And a furry. Okay.
The last activity at Starkey Park was to collect and identify different types of leaves and create a bandana by smashing the leaves on the pavement to transfer the leaf color to the bandana. Now that was a stress-relieving activity. On the days the students were scheduled to attend the Energy and Marine Center, or EMC, they participated in several water-based activities, including fish printing, not with real fish but life-size rubber molds, and seining, or scooping up specimens from the estuary with nets.
Look at all these guys. Catch them quick. They're not scary. They're not.
If that didn't get them wet enough, the kayaking did. Students paired up and saw the mangroves up close from their kayaks, some closer than others. It was a very wet day. In another activity, they saw the progression of the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, learned about the impact of that on birds and sensitive estuarine habitats. They also experimented with oil and feathers and discovered the challenges of cleaning up and saving the wildlife of the Gulf Coast.
Okay.
I think if you make it back to shore, you did a good job, right? Way out. Miss Chris.
The culminating activity of the week was a trip to the Florida Aquarium. The behind-the-scenes tour, scavenger hunt, and many exhibits displaying Florida marine ecosystems kept the entire group busy all day long. Our mission is to educate Pasco students in the concepts of protecting our environment and its valuable resources. Through programs like the Title I Peace Camps, students will develop a sense of personal and collective responsibility for the preservation of Florida's precious ecosystems. The Peace Camp, now in its third year, is offered over the summer to students attending Pasco County Title I elementary schools. Transportation from your home school, morning snack, and lunch is provided. Hope you have the opportunity to attend this year. It will be an experience you'll never forget. See you at camp this summer.